Hey, what's up? I'm Joel Madden, and this is Artist Friendly. On this episode, I'm talking with the lead singer of Grammy-nominated rock band Underøath, Spencer Chamberlain. Let's go.
Smoking on Piff, that's my kind. I don't want no bad times. I don't want to have bad.
How's it going, Spencer?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Have we met before? I feel like we have, but I can't remember.
And
I can't place
passing,
it. Yeah.
I think
Probably like a festival or
Warped
a
Tour or something,
tour. Yeah.
like that. Yeah, we've never really rode down.
We've never gotten to hang out.
Mm-mm.
This
20
is
years
good,
in the
then.
making. You know?
This has been 20 years in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do watch these all the time when I'm scrolling and stuff. I see all these interviews. I'm like, these are great.
Cool. Thank you.
So, yeah.
I like doing it.
Yeah.
It's most of these conversations we would have if we were like throwing down, meeting up.
Yeah.
If we were like meeting for the first time and we had some night to kill somewhere backstage or
Like
somewhere.
you're on tour. Yeah, like chilling.
And
Like,
you end up in some really great conversation and people don't ever get to, you don't have it on record.
yeah.
You don't have it. Like you haven't. So this is great because so it's like they were like, oh, he's in C with Joey. I was gonna go in, but like I actually like to sit right down and start talking, and we don't have to use all of it. But I like to have like the meeting and the even if it's the first time, like I like to catch it because like I don't know, I just think it's like something special.
Yeah. No, I dig that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So thanks for coming.
Yeah, man. Dude, we're excited to be here.
How's Underøath?
Record came out today.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Better than ever, strangely enough. You know, this far into it, it's funny. I feel like as we started to focus more on like, are we having fun? Is this worth being away from family? Do we need to do this?
Yeah.
You know, because I think when we were younger, the way that the scene worked or the industry worked, it was like you had 2 years on a record. You had to make another one. You had to tour. You know, it was just like, if you didn't deliver, you know, in a certain time frame, like you might be forgotten. Someone's going to come and take you out of your spot or your lane. And now I feel like there's so many lanes to where it's like good for them for being huge. I don't care if the opening band now is playing arenas and we're not. It's like it's a win for everyone, and you could just take your time and focus on what's important, which is the art. Like, are the songs good? You know, if they're not, we don't need to put them out. You know, like, so I think strangely enough, like as we started to focus on things like, is this fun for us? Are we happy? You know, are we getting along? The music started to like really shine, like over like writing this record and just being like less sacred. Not, I don't know if that's the right word, but like, let's use that for now.
Yeah.
like my part has to be there because I work so like less that and more like looking around the room like, is Chris bobbing his head? If he's not, maybe, all right, let me try something else. You know, like I want him to be stoked. Fuck everything else, right?
Yeah.
I don't care what the fans say or what Randy, no offense, is he in here? There he is. Or like the man or like the label says. Like I was really going into this record, I was just like, we've struggled a lot with our relationships and personal demons, and the band's broken up and got back together. And
What do you think that was?
which part?
Okay, let's start with
Drugs, alcohol, death, fucking growing up.
Okay, so you would say, yeah, it's interesting because like it is kind of just growing up. But
I have a theory.
what's your theory?
Okay.
I
Kinda
love
like-
theories.
kinda like-
I'm a very philosophical, theoretic
kinda
guy.
Like you see like a lot of like the child stars
Yes.
go through it. I think when a band is young, it gets any sort of notoriety. You know,
fame,
granted,
success,
in-
this, that,
just-
all of it, whatever.
coming from nothing and having money to pay your bills playing music,
It's a-
that's it.
It's
You're
like
making
it's
it.
like magic. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa, this money magically appeared, and I can get $20 out of the ATM
Yeah,
anytime I want.
right. Yeah.
It's like magic.
So my theory with why bands that start young have a hard time and they break up, or at least for us, in my experience, it is you start a band with dudes that are like-minded, right?
Mm.
Everyone's like into the same thing,
Mhm.
you know, and you get into a van. So when you're in the van and you're a nobody, you're playing floor shows, basement shows, VFW halls.
Mhm.
You know, in this day and age, you know, before the iPhone, there was a CD in the CD player. So you're all listening to the same shit.
Mm.
So you pull over on the side of the road. What do? You all eat the same place.
Mhm.
And then, we're out of underwear, we're out of fucking shirts. You go shop. You all look the same. Everyone
Yeah.
looks the same, dresses the same, acts the same. A lot of it's like the herd mentality. Like you've got this tube you're traveling around in, sleeping on people's floors. all
it's
these like,
survival.
yeah, all these you're surviving the road, and all these inside jokes and these crazy like, oh my god, we stayed on these people's floor last night. They were fighting upstairs. Can you believe? All the conversations you're having because you're really living life together. As
like think about it. Not and so just kind of like a footnote or asterisk, like in exactly what you're saying, because I think about this a lot. If we were tribal 1,000 years ago, our people would all wear similar clothes because we got it from the same source, right?
Yeah.
So like it's a bit of like we win in groups as people,
right.
We don't win solo. We win in groups. We have to survive in groups, and then there's subgroups in the groups,
Totally.
right? So like as a tribal species of people that survive together and evolve together, we are kind of like exactly what you're saying. Like you're traveling around, surviving together for a shared common goal of hopefully success, which what does success mean? It means we eat.
Yeah. Like $5 for food, $20 for food a day or whatever it was. And like,
So go ahead, continue.
So the reason why I think like you go through these problems is because when any sort of fame happens, and for me, when I was growing up, it was like making it to me was seeing these scene shows and like the finger pointing and people singing words back at you. That's it.
That's like that.
That was because when this shit started, there was no thought of mainstream. There was no thought of 20 years. There was like it was people singing your words back at you would be life changing. That's it. But as you're traveling around and things start to take off at any sort of level, and you get out of a van into like a bus, people start to have a little bit more freedom, and you get a little bit of money in your bank account, even if it's just a little bit. And now you've got, people start to become individuals, which I think is really healthy.
Yeah, I do too.
But when you're a teenager or into your early 20s, you get offended. When this guy starts being like, well, now he's a vegetarian, so he doesn't eat with us anymore, or that guy's straight edge and this dude's starting to drink, or he's listening to different music and his tastes are changing, or even his clothes, because now on a day off, he can go to the mall by himself and go somewhere else, or the group goes this way. Whatever it may be, the individuality of becoming a man, in our case, it's all guys in our band, so as we've started to become men and not just little boys, feeding off of each other, it caused a lot of growing pains. And I think a lot of as people became individuals, including myself, like I would get offended, and people would get offended with me and like, or just mad, and you're just like, oh, fuck that guy. He's kind of different now. Right. When we should be celebrating each other's differences and letting people explore and find what's right for them. And also, when we started this band, it started out as a Christian band. So that was a whole other element of pressure of being the same. Because the minute you start to think a little bit different or question even, maybe this isn't right. Maybe I don't like this. Maybe this isn't good for me. Someone's like, that guy's got a problem, or we need to talk to him, or he's out of here. So there was a lot of, I think Underøath especially had a whole other, or any other band that had like we're a straight edge band and everyone has to be straight edge, or we're a Christian band. And our
well, how did the Christian label get put on you guys?
The band started as a Christian band.
What does that mean?
When I joined the band in 2003, I didn't ever write about it. So that was always a question for me. But a lot of the bands that from the scene that I was around, they were sharing similar labels. I know it was like everyone in the band was Christian. For us, it was something we talked about in interviews or on stage.
Right. Okay. So you had a pointed message.
Right.
That you at the time really felt compelled to share in your music and on stage.
As a group, yeah. But it never really translated to lyrically, which also started to change for me pretty fast. As the band started to take off, seeing things like that, like this Christian side of whatever the music industry is, and seeing people that are like, well, some of these people aren't good people. Some of these people are, it's kind of like jaded and fucked up. And like, I think being a kid and being like, the idea is to lead people to like, what? Like, we're just kids. What do we know? That was a huge thing for me too. As like, we shouldn't be leading anyone towards any decision to make with their life because of our stance. Like, why are we making a stance about what we believe in when we're like boys? You know, to me, it was a confusing time for me to be a frontman of a band that was taking off. And there's this pressure of like, but they're a Christian band and I'm the mouthpiece. And then I'm like kind of going inward with that. That's like crushing my chest.
Yeah.
You know, like the anxiety, which ended up leading to drug use and like,
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like,
that's a
lot of,
that can happen.
yeah, the pressure of like, I also was like, I don't feel comfortable with a lot of the stuff that is attached to this religion. Not saying, and I'm not like, I've been quoted. It's, I guess, you get misquoted or they pull the clickbait out. I've been like, I hate Christianity. Yeah, clickbait, whatever. That's not the case. I think whatever works for you,
Well,
more power to you. Like
I'm
everyone
assuming
should
you
have
grew
that
up
choice.
in a religious house.
Kind of.
So did I.
Yeah.
I was in the Church of God my whole until I left home.
Yeah.
And it was evangelical and it was very Christian. In fact, it's weird. You know, the reality of religion is it's good. It at the core of what it's supposed to mean. Like it's a higher ideal of do unto others is generally the core values are all generally the same across religions. It's do unto others. It's love your neighbor as yourself. It's peace and love, and it's actually what's I think helped evolve humans along the way is a higher compassion is really like the highest evolution of a human is like to just have compassion. But it's leadership when the leader of a group says, if you do that, you're bad. When I do it, I'm human.
Right.
I made a mistake. When you do it, you're going to hell.
Right.
Right? That's the problem I have.
At the core of, like what you were saying a minute ago, the core of religion, like I am not an anti-religion person, like go for it.
Yeah.
If it helps you, and I believe that's the beauty of religion, just as a broad statement, is like, it helps people.
I agree.
And I think some people need it. Like there are people on this planet that fear God, and that's the reason why they don't lie, cheat, steal, kill, whatever. Like there are people that need it.
It's good.
And then there are people like on your deathbed. I couldn't imagine like people battling cancer and people battling different, like the comfort. I'm not an anti-religion person. I'm just saying being in a Christian band was not good for me. And I try to share my struggle with that or my experience with it. And I've been known to be like, oh, he fucking hates Christianity, he hates Christians. That's not true. I don't hate any of that.
Let me read you your quote in 2018.
I'm sure. Here we go.
You said, I'm not saying religion is wrong for everyone, but for me, it was wrong. It ruined my life.
It did.
Turned me into a drug addict, and people were awful to me the whole time. I never felt more alone in my life than I was a Christian. Actually,
I stand by that.
In the moment you said that, I'm sure, because I actually related to that.
Yeah.
That's why I said, I got to ask him about when he said that, because I related to it. I actually used to say, I'm a Christian in a band. We're not a Christian band. You ever hear that one?
Yep. Oh, yeah. My whole life.
The core of being in a religion is a good idea. When I meet people who are truly like enlightened, who like love God, it's different.
Yeah. And it's to be honest, it's inspiring, and it is it's attractive. Like you feel like you want that.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that it has to be one way, like, and then the guy who's Hindu or Muslim is wrong, is just weird. So,
Yes, because you're an artist.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to tell stories.
Yep.
And we're trying to heal people, actually.
I mean, that was the initial love of it, right? Like you were a kid, you listened to something that made you feel not alone, right? There was something in your room at some point in time, you had put on I don't know if it was a tape or a vinyl or how, CD, whatever it was. Even the
I'm not that much older than you.
Even an FM radio.
CD.
Yeah.
But tapes when I was little.
Tapes, yeah. But also, I mean, my parents had vinyls and shit laying around, but whatever. Whatever it might have been for you or whoever's listening, like there was a moment in time you were listening to something more than likely by yourself that made you feel like that's for me.
Yeah.
That was written for me or written about me or that's what I want, And I think that was, I'll never forget being a little kid and I was obsessed with Nirvana. I have an older brother and two older stepbrothers. So I had cool music always when the kids my age necessarily weren't into it yet. And I remember showing a friend the song it made me feel, and and he was playing like Super Mario, and he was like, yeah, I don't know. And it made me I was like, God, if I could just bottle that feeling that I'm feeling right now and just give it to you, just drink that. I want you to feel that. Like, I was so frustrated at such a young age of like, why can't this person feel that? It was like, I just wanted to share that feeling with my friends. And most of my friends that I grew up with did not like any of the music that I liked or cared. And it would just, I guess, motivated me to be like, to write, to share, because music, I know it's cheesy. Music saved me, but yeah, it did. It saved all of us, which is why we are in these seats right now talking about music and talking about life, because at some point in your life that bing went off in your brain of like, wow, that's everything. That changed my whole, like, it could have been something so silly. Like you got picked on at school in freaking second grade, but that song came on and you just felt better.
Yeah.
And that was it. So it's like, if it was pizza, you'd been like, if I eat a piece of pizza and everything changed, you probably would have wanted to open a pizza restaurant when you got older. But for us, you and me, it was a song or a lyric or an album or a band. Could have been their whole everything, in that. And then you see that, and those people that come to your meet and greets and mine, and they wait outside for your signatures or mine, or like.
How old were you guys when you got, you put out your first record and you really started working?
2004 is when it started to move.
So you were early 20s.
Yeah. 20 and 21.
Okay, so young. Do you ever like think like maybe with Underøath, the Christian moniker, do you ever think that like maybe it was taken from you, slapped on you as a marketing thing, and kind of got away from you? Like I'm not saying it wasn't real, because I know it was, because I could feel it from you guys, but do you ever feel like it was taken overboard maybe, like by all of the powers that be that are, just trying to sell records, trying to find audiences, trying to blah, blah, blah? Do you ever feel like you're young and you're not completely aware of like how all this works? You certainly you don't have the 20 years you have of experience go like, hold up, messaging. How do we want to say this? How do we want to do this? Do you ever feel like it was kind of ran with and you guys were just like, not to say you weren't powerless, but you were kind of like, I guess this is how it works. We don't want to lose the opportunity. We don't want to be ungrateful. We don't want to be all the bad things. So let's just be good and be grateful and go play and not think about it, because this is what everybody wants and the fans want it and these people want it.
Well, we had to do that. It came to a head at some point.
Right. But do you feel like it just got ran with?
I think more so internally than I think the outside. Maybe I guess we weren't really paying attention, but maybe a little bit. But I think that there was a movement in that scene of that. I mean, the bands like Underøath and the Devil Wears Prada were Christian, and Norma Jean. Yeah, they were. And then Norma Jean and
that's weird.
Emery. Like
I never looked at you guys as a Christian band. I knew there was like some religious aspect.
We didn't do the Christian band thing. We didn't tour with Christian band. We just toured. We did like, so I think for us it was more of like a sore thumb, because we stayed out of the Christian world as far as the touring world.
Right.
And I think it did become a talking point in like a silly way of like, there's this band on Warped Tour that calls themselves Christians, and some of our guys were like doing a Bible study. And that kind of thing was like, look how ridiculous they are. Like I think that was a moment in time, but I think I was just trying to ignore it all and figure out, why do I feel uncomfortable with
and figure out life?
All these good things are happening, but I feel uncomfortable. And I think that's what we're all doing, is trying to find ways to be comfortable in our own skin. And I think as that label started to become more prevalent and we started to grow, I just felt more and more uncomfortable in my own skin, to where
I get that.
I didn't want to be in my skin, so I'll get high.
Right.
That was just an easy, obviously it's a Band-Aid, maybe that works for a few months.
How long did the drugs go on?
13 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
God damn, man.
Yeah.
It's a long time to do drugs,
a long time.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
That's
a lot of my friends are not.
Yeah.
Even, there's a song on the new record called Survivor's Guilt, and it's kind of we had a conversation about, different people's survivors guilt. Like, if you're in the military and, you know, we were talking about this friend that like his whole platoon died and he survived, and great that you survived, but there's also that feeling, this other feeling that comes with it. In that song, I was kind of coming from the standpoint of like the opening line is 7 years and 8 down in 23, which is, it had been 7 years since I had stopped using drugs. 8 of my friends died in 2023 alone. And the same shit that I was doing. And just because I got out before the fentanyl phase, like the feeling of like, I'm not better than my friends. Like I've known some people that are dead right now weren't even as hard of drug users as I was.
Right.
They were casual, you know, once a month we'll party, you know, or we go out every now and again. And like, yeah, we'll do a bump or two, you know, and you got the wrong.
Let me tell you something, bro. Sobriety is the religion in my mind of, if you want to talk about religions giving you something. I'm not a sober person. I've never been an addict. I've never had a drug, an interest in drugs. I'm terrified of drugs. They scare the shit out of me.
Now, I can't even, like, all my band eats edible. Like, they're all into, like, and these guys were all super straight. When I was first drinking and partying, I was the wild guy.
I don't consider mushrooms drugs.
Yeah, well, but any of that stuff, weed, I can't even take a weed. Give me like the feeling of being out of control, which is like, I can still have a glass of wine with my fiance cooking dinner. Right. We're at home. We're like,
not alcohol for you, it's drugs.
It's drugs. But because even with drinking, it's like, if I start to feel a buzz, I just put it down, because now the thought, I was like not in control of my body for so long. The thought of being out of control, it terrifies me. Like, I took an edible. Like, when I first got off drugs, I smoked a lot of weed, you know, because I was like trying to find something else, until I smoked so much weed that I was having panic attacks and like I couldn't sleep, and I'm like waking up. I'm like, I hate this.
Did you go to therapy?
Yeah. I did substance abuse therapy for
but did you also just go to therapy? Like,
yeah, I've done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think there's something like some trauma or something when we get into, like, when I hear about your drug use, I go, I don't know. I don't think you should ever do drugs.
No, I don't do them. I don't touch any of it.
If you've had that experience that you had. I have friends who I guess they use casual drugs. I don't know, because they don't tell me, because I think they think probably I would judge them. I wouldn't, but I also just don't do drugs. Yeah. I also don't want to hang out with people that are like
fucking
doing coke.
Melting. Yeah,
it's a weird, like,
yeah.
I think that's like, as adults, as middle-aged guys, like, I don't go out that much, but when I do,
yeah, I don't either.
I'm happy to be out when I'm out. But if someone's doing like coke, it's weird. It's like,
the funny thing now is, like, I can go out to any bar anywhere with the band. Like, when we go out, we don't go out that much. I barely go out, but
yeah. Are you married with kids and stuff?
I'm getting married in September.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, thank you.
That's nice.
I'm excited.
All the Christians will be glad.
Yeah.
Making it honest.
Right.
I had my kids before I got married.
I have a kid with an ex-girlfriend that was a crazy toxic scenario right when I got off drugs. My daughter is a blessing. But
well, there you go.
That scenario was a fucking shit show. It was awful, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like, we can't judge those situations that we found ourselves in when we weren't honoring or trying to like love ourselves or take care of ourselves and others. But out of those things come these beautiful.
Yeah. When your therapist says you should not be in a relationship, you should listen to them. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to end up in court battles and shit for child custody. Like,
that's terrible.
Oh, terrible.
What a horrible thing.
Yeah. But the funny thing, like what I was saying, is I can go any bar or anywhere, because I was a drug user for so long. Like, I know the game and everything. And also, by the way, I did not go to a bar for about 6 years.
Okay.
Because I just didn't want to put myself in it. I had to learn how to trust myself again. Had to learn how to love myself again.
Yeah.
It was really important.
But did you ever love yourself?
I do now.
Good.
You know, but I don't think I did as a kid until
I found out.
Until I went through the drug phase and then was harder on myself after. I was more of a wreck the first 2 years after being off drugs than I was. I was a better functioning drug addict and could keep my emotions and my life in line. But then the first 2.5, 3 years off drugs, I was a roller coaster.
Yeah, you were left to sit with the reality of you.
Yeah, and I would just, for no reason, break down. Could be crying.
Yeah.
I could be a dick. I could just self-implode or just look at someone and lash out. I was like, I was not in control of my emotions for a good while. It was the first couple years off drugs were fucking hard.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. I think that when we use drugs, we're medicating deeper pain, trauma. And then when we're left alone with that pain, the trauma has to come up.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense to me that you would be a better functioning drug addict.
Yeah.
That's not having to deal with whatever the pain is, whatever we got to work out. There's no one on this planet that doesn't have, after the first 20 years of life, have to unpack their childhood and figure out, where are my injuries?
Yeah.
And that's why everyone should go to therapy. Everyone should find some person that's professionally skilled.
Dude, even
to
using
help.
an app, dude, the kids
Use
nowadays,
the app.
Use an app. There's so much positive stuff that I wish we would have.
I wish I would have done it when I was fucking 21 in
But
good Charlotte.
we didn't have iPhones that you could just push a button and talk.
On the road doing therapy.
Yeah,
I couldn't
now
do that.
kids can do that, and it's so beautiful. I'm happy we're
Everyone
at that
should
spot.
find their version of mental health, and what does that mean to them? Like, what's my mental health currently? How do I take care of it? Is it therapy? Is it this app? Likely it's a few different things. It's some people meditate, some people do yoga, some people go to therapy, some people go to this kind of therapy, some people go to that kind of therapy. But everyone should be thinking about, what am I pushing down and not dealing with? Because when you find yourself on drugs, not having to deal with anything, completely checked out, likely overwhelmed by your career, personal development, when you're in a band that has success early on, stops. Personal growth stops.
Yeah.
And if you don't have someone around you that's saying, hey, this is kind of how it works. Like, on stage, you're this character and you're this guy. It is you. It is an aspect of you. But off stage, you're just you. It's okay to just be you. Like,
and I think that's hard. I think that's hard to figure out when you're a kid, when you start as young as we did.
And when you're in this constant business of me.
Yeah.
It's a business of me. Yeah. If I don't show up, it doesn't happen. And then and then what does that mean? And it ages you in some ways, and it stunts your growth in others.
We talk about this all the time. Yeah.
It
keeps you in this bubble. You grow, you'll see things that you shouldn't have seen super fast.
And there's no accountability. If you're on the road and you want to do some drugs, or you want to go and have a one night stand, or there's no one's there going, hey, is that good for you? Do you think that's the best thing? Like, let's talk about it before. Like, there's no thought into these like life altering sometimes decisions.
Right.
That you're almost expected to behave badly. You know what I mean?
Which is why your parents didn't want you to be in rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of celebrated because and anywhere you are, it's someone's Friday night because they're here with the band and they all want to hang out and they all want to party or do this or do that. Isn't this what you guys do? And you're like, so at a young age, if you get in your early 20s, it can be really unhealthy. And I'm not even like absolving myself of responsibility. I'm saying like it doesn't mean it's okay to make all those bad decisions. It's not it. It's just, it's not a healthy environment.
Right.
It's more unhealthy than it is healthy. It's not conducive to like personal growth, spiritual growth, all these like positive ideas of like how we can kind of navigate life and grow. And I didn't really learn about any of it until I started therapy, and I wasn't probably 29 when I started.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like the gym and therapy. It was two things.
That's what I was about to say. I think there's three forms of therapy in my life, but outside of, there's regular therapy, and then there's songwriting, because you're writing things that a lot of times you're not maybe comfortable talking about yet.
Yeah.
And I think there's a beauty in that. And then the gym, that was a huge thing for me. As you can tell, I'm huge.
You look good. Just going, look fit.
I take care of myself, and it started with like, I hated the way I looked. I hated myself when I looked in the mirror, which was the start of getting off drugs. It's like, who is this? What the fuck happened to me? And then you kind of change the way you eat, and then you start working out and exercising. You're like, man, I feel, because I think when you're getting high, or you're trying to, I don't think you're like, fuck you, mom, fuck you, dad. I think you're trying to feel good.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's something in your life you're trying to feel better about, and it's a good feeling. Highs, they call it a high, because if you're like, ooh, I'm up here, right? So I think I started to find something that made me feel good in a completely different way. Because for some reason, good starting in my 20s was the drug high, which is a synthetic or, whatever, a high that's not necessarily natural.
Yeah, no.
That's not supposed to be felt until you find a way to kind of find a parallel. It's not the same, but it's this thing that's like, man, I feel great right now. Like,
I have a theory. I think we use drugs to get to a potential that would otherwise take us much longer to get to.
Amen.
So if I
Amen.
want to vibrate on this high of a level, it would take
Years.
self-care, therapy, self-love, all the things I'd have to learn how to do. But my question was, did you love yourself before? Did you like the way you looked before the drugs?
No.
That's my theory. My theory is we don't love ourselves. We have something, some injury in our life, and some of it's just the human condition. And most band guys, whether they want to admit it or not, all start outsiders, low self-esteem, sensitive artist types. We're very sensitive, so we go into a world that's not. We go to school, we go to these places, and we get banged up because we're feelers. And if you're a songwriter, you're a feeler, you're a thinker, you're sensitive, and you want to give. And so people like that were very susceptible to damage.
Yeah.
So we get damaged, and then we go into these artistic careers, then we have success, and we don't even know how to fucking make sense of the success because our self-esteem will not let us hold it and own it. And then we find our way into something that escapes responsibility from that work we'd have to do to get to the high of loving yourself and being happy and being
working
okay.
working hard, like on you. It's discipline.
It takes discipline.
It takes a lot. It's like,
and it sucks.
There are days where I'm like, I wake up, I'm like, man, I would just love to just lay in this bed and just roll around, watch some Netflix, just get up and kind of roll around and eat and just be lazy. But I'm like, I'm going to get up and go to the gym, even if I don't want to. And then when I'm done, I'm like, fuck yeah. Even if I do nothing for the rest of the day. You get a high
from it.
Yeah. And I'm like, but I also did something to make me better. Because I look at myself, I'm like, I'm not going to be the dude who starts to fall apart from 40. I'm not going to spend the next 40 plus years on a decline.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I spent 20 and 30 destroying my body. Now I'm going to be like, every day is a chance to be a better me.
Yeah.
So I wake up and I go, all right, even if it's just that, I just went to the gym. That's doing something for my heart, my body, for my joints, stretching the muscles, all of it just working in your brain. It's like, so today,
I'm the same way.
Today I'm better than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
And it allows you to love yourself more.
And you're doing something hard, and it makes the rest of the day feel easy.
Yeah.
Because you're doing that workout, you're doing that sauna. I like the ice plunge. I like the sauna. I like the workout. I like I'm learning to like cardio, which I always hated my whole life. I'm learning to like it.
My knee doesn't like cardio. I grew up skateboarding. Were you a skateboarder?
No.
I grew up skateboarding.
I mean, I did, but I wasn't good.
Crashed my knee.
What about a bike?
Oh yeah, I can do the elliptical on the bike. Yeah.
The bike is a good one. It takes a minute to get into it, but it's a very good source of cardio.
Yeah, it's the running on the pavement or on the track. Like my knee.
Running isn't good.
My
for
knee is
your
like
body.
my knee is like, yo, let's stop that.
Inclined walk is good. I do that a lot. The stair machine, really good.
Yeah,
got one at the gym.
I agree that I think it all spawns from like
self-love.
And how do you tell a 12-year-old boy to be like, you should be loving yourself? Because
you can't.
They don't even understand. You don't understand what that is. And I'm like, when I think back on it, it's like, like it's funny because my fiance is always like, I bet you were like, if I would have met you in high school, like you would have been so cool. I've been playing shows since I was 12 and like,
oh wow,
skateboarding. And I was like, no, where I grew up, I was picked on for that. Like that wasn't cool to play rock music.
No, me
where
either.
everyone was like, it was hip hop and country.
Yeah.
In football.
Yeah.
In basketball. And
where are you from?
I'm North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was to dress
ass.
the way that I dressed and to play anything with a guitar that wasn't a jam band. Like I was my band was selling out little venues and stuff. I played music with my brother and his friends a lot, and they were like older punk dudes, and like that wasn't cool. You were like a freak, you were a loser, or words they would call you that you couldn't use now.
Yeah.
All the time. And I tell her all the time, I was like, it was so opposite. I was like, selling out a show as a kid would get you thrown into a locker because you're not a jam band.
Yeah.
And you're not, you know what I mean? You're not a football player. Like it was like, it wasn't cool. So I think all of that started as like, you didn't look like everyone else. You know, I wasn't jacked and had a beard at 16. I was a little twig on a skateboard, you know?
So I think that like we started this conversation off about a more emotional aspect of like what it means to be an Underøath and what the journey's been like. And I think it's important to like recognize like Underøath is cool as shit.
Thank you.
It's a storied career. You guys show up and people show up to see you. You're one of those bands that everybody knows is going to like show up and tickets are selling and people are coming to that show and it's a good show. You guys have built a thing that takes a lifetime to build because you're a good band.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I think that it's important to kind of highlight what it means to build for people listening. The reality of building something great is it's fucking chaotic and messy inside when you're doing it because it's human beings working together, working on their own shit, figuring out who they are.
And then who are we as a unit?
Right. And who we are as a band. And what does that mean today? What does it mean 3 years in, 5 years in, 10 years in? It's always going to change.
Always.
Who we are as individuals, always going to change. And what you hope is you arrive to this point in your life, right? Like I always say, it's like 40, right? You arrive to the point in your life where you should know who you are.
You're right.
Hell or high water, whatever you've been through, good, the bad, the ugly, the pictures you'd look back on and go, ooh, or the moments you'd look back on and go, oh my God, it's ugly.
Yeah.
But that's growing up. And on the other side of it, I see grown men in a great band, making great music, affecting the world in a positive way.
Of course. Yeah.
Affecting each other in a positive way. And when I sit across from you, I go, oh, this guy's a success.
Right.
You're fucking here.
Right.
You're not all disconnected and you can sit here and have a real conversation about some shit that like, this is why I like this show is because we can talk about what does it mean to be a Christian anyways, or what does it mean to be a band anyways, or like, it's very hard to define the reality of any of the things of any of these ideas, but like we should be able to talk about it without having everyone take every word out of context, rip every little thing we say about, we're just working it out.
Yeah.
In real time, all the time. And so this conversation is more true to what it actually means to figure shit out and still not kind of know and kind of know. But when we hit 40, you would hope that we figured out how to live life and our way that will allow us to go another 40 years.
Right.
And not go the way of what we've seen a lot of our friends, people that died way too early, either by drugs, suicide. All of it is like, to me, like drug addiction is like a long, slow suicide. It's taking the way of the like, I don't want to kill myself like that. I want to kill myself like this.
It is.
And so anything we do knowingly in poor health, we know we're killing ourselves a little bit doing this each time. That to me is like the down cycle. Or we choose the path up, which is hard, but on the other side of that path is good health, clarity, more self-esteem, more self-awareness, more self-love, and a grounded sense of reality. I always think that way. I'm like, what's the grounded sense of reality here of what it actually means? Not the idea of it that everybody wants to post or write, or that's all just ideas, and most of it's bullshit.
Right.
Reality is a different thing.
So I was talking to someone the other day about, they were asking me about me writing this record, being off drugs and all this stuff. And I painted it like we were saying, like when you come out at 40 and you're like, you should.
What's the name of the record?
It's called The Place After This One.
All right.
So when I look the way I explain this is like my whole career, I want to explain it like as if visually, if you're on a boat, you're traveling from point A to point B, you're out there, you got this crew with you, you're sailing, fucking storm hits.
Yeah. As they do.
And you don't know if you're going to make it. You don't know what's going to happen. It's just chaos.
Yeah.
And you're shouting about it. You're thinking about it. You're like, oh my God, we're going to die. The boat's going to go down. You're yelling at this guy to pull the sail in and this shit, the other. We're going over these. Everything's going crazy, right?
Yeah.
I've been writing in that my whole life.
Mm.
And someone asked me what it was like to write this record. What's different about this record? And I said, I got through the storm, got on the shore. No one died.
Yeah.
And you looked out and it's like, that was crazy, right? That was nuts. Now we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Now that I've made it through the other side, not saying that I'm not going to have another storm in my life. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. We don't know. But
Likely.
right now, I made it to shore and I can look back and clearly talk about how that felt, how I was feeling. What was it like to be in that moment as opposed to my whole career? It's like you're treading water trying to write about what you're in. You're in the shit, trying to talk about the shit. But now when you're on the shore looking back at it and you're like, I could write a book about this.
Yeah,
I could make a movie about that. Whatever it is, like writing from that perspective and hindsight of like, it is still real. All those emotions I felt and I can still feel and think about can make me feel a certain way. I can still talk about it just because I'm not an addict anymore or I'm not dealing with death or whatever this crazy toxic relationships I've been in, all the stuff in my life that was turmoil. I don't need to be in turmoil to make good art.
No, you don't.
I'm clear-headed and on the other side of it, I'm really fucking happy. My life is good. The band is happy. Everyone's in a great spot.
That's nice.
And it made for great music because we could focus on making stuff that made us all happy and stoked. And I could write about turmoil. I could write about the storm that I went through over the last 5 years, or I want to go through the whole 13 years or the whole 20 years of being in this band. I'm sitting on the beach, my feet in the sand, looking out at that clear sky and this ocean is calm. And I'm just like, I can't believe all that. But now I can really think about it. Like, what? How did that really make me feel? What was that? What, like, let me talk about it because I'm a fucking live, and I'm here.
I also can like analyze what part I played in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could not do it again.
Right.
And then it could always be sunny and clear. Even when problems come, they're less of a storm and more of a problem to solve. And because I'm so clear. Yeah, I'm so equipped and I understand, like, I listen to my instincts. And if somebody comes around, I'm like, before if I did this, I still let them hug me. Right. Now, if I do this and I don't let them get near me, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, metaphorically, I'm saying like we can look at like what are the patterns we've had in our lives with ourselves, with people. Is there a reoccurring problem that I've always thought was other people that's actually me?
That's a huge one, right?
Yeah.
That's a fucking
big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Can I get out of my own way?
Yeah.
Right. But I think that's the age. I think that's experience.
Is that what this is? Is this what 40 is?
I think so, dude.
Okay. All right.
It's experience.
It is. In going back, not to dive back in the religion thing, but that was also like, dude, you don't know who you are. How are you leading anyone anywhere? We knew nothing. Like now, look at us now. We're actually, like, I feel like finally, like, I'm a man now. I feel like I was a boy until like clarity hit. And when you know who you are and you've got some self-awareness and self-love, you're like, I'm a fucking man.
And you can easily, a grown-ass man can make a decision and stand by it and be fine with it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like, if you don't
And we don't have to see eye to eye on everything.
Yeah.
And that's
exactly.
okay. And it wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
If you and I have, different feelings about different things, fine. We can talk about it. I don't care.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I find differences to be more interesting than anything. When someone's different than me, I'm always like, oh, why do you think that? Yeah. Oh, tell me. I don't know. I'm interested. I think it's
it's also like, sometimes I think as you get a little bit older, you're like, well, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe if I listen and hear you out, like maybe I could learn something.
Yeah.
Also, maybe I can stay still firmly with my decision on how I feel. I think that is being mature, like being able to hear someone out and make, a conscious thought of that, of like not anger because you're saying something that I don't feel or I don't believe in, but like more like, oh, I wonder why you make that choice and I don't. And is there something I'm missing? And after the conversation is done, like, oh no, I'm still feel the same way I felt and I'm good and we can be different. Or to be able to be like, oh wow, I never thought of it that way or thought of it that way. I'm going to look more into that.
And I'm in constant, I'm constantly working on my shit. Our conversation continues in part 2.
Times I